I always did want to play Hades, you know, the big indie studio, the awards, the never-ending list of glazing reviews. Who could resist? Well, apparently me, because that game came out in 2020 and I still haven't played it. You could say it was quite the elusive game, you know, always there but just a little bit out of reach. Honestly, I didn't think there was a chance I'd ever play a Hades game until Super Guys decided to release Hades 2. I couldn't believe it. I saw my chance, finally. I could play a Hades game, and at that very moment, I made the momentous decision and decided to play both. Both! This is the story of how Hades completely took over my life. At this point, I assume you all know what Hades is, but in case you don't, Hades is a roguelike, dating sim, family drama fishing game set in the fictional fantasy world of Greece, where gods exist and Jim and Debts don't. You play as a god and need to beat 4 procedurally generated levels to beat the game. Each level has you battle your way through rooms, earning rewards as you go. Who knows what you'll get? Well, you, because they're on the door. Sometimes you'll get money, sometimes a shop, sometimes an item, or even a weapon buff. But then there's some times where you can actually get a power-up from one of the many Greek gods in the game. We all remember what happened last time when Greek gods gave out powers, don't we, fellas? At the end of each level, you fight a big bad boss, and after the 4th boss, you've completed the game. Well done.
Congratulations.
When you inevitably die, because you will inevitably die, you go back to your little base, and the light novel aspect begins where the story progresses and you can interact with the many cast of characters. It's also the place where you can improve your character and add new areas to levels to make them easier. You can even channel your inner interior designer if you're feeling frisky.
I want it. It's everything.
Few tales are told of Hades, whose very name inspires.
No, Homer, I'm the narrator here. Okay, so our story starts in Hades, where you actually play the son of Hades, Zagreus. They say Zagreus is actually the god of dodging, you know, the origin of what we would call the zigzag. Guys, I did some reading on this fella's lore, and it wasn't very good. In Greek mythology, this guy gets caught by the Titans and ripped limb from limb in the most gruesome way possible. Yeah, I didn't say he was a very good god of dodging. Fortunately, in this game, even if you are torn to shreds, you just wake up in a river of blood, ready to fight another day. So, Zagreus has some family troubles and wants to traverse up the numerous levels of hell and escape to the surface. I say numerous, but like I said before, the exact number's 4. Now this is James. Say hi, James. Look at him. Look at that poor, naive bastard. He doesn't know what he's got himself into. He thinks he can beat both games in a week and make a video on them both. Oh, how wrong he is. I am? I'm actually still playing the game right now. I'm not exactly sure when this video's gonna come out. So I didn't go into this game completely blind. I mean, it's pretty simple. Beat the bad guy, get stronger, move on to the next room, rinse and repeat. The game was gonna be easy. You're listening to the man who became a god in Noita. No! It's a fucking skull! Yeah, I died in my first run to a numbskull. The one-hittable, not my finest moment. After returning home, I'm not too sure why Zagreus even wants to run away. Now, sure, Hades did call me a little bitch for dying, but everybody else seems quite nice, like the famous Greek icon and teacher of Zagreus, Achilles, or Nyx, who's helping me escape and installed a mirror which lets me power up. I'd have used it right away, but I need keys in this purple essence first, and I didn't get far enough to get anything. At least I got to pet a dog. Before I left for another run, I got to the weapons room, a very integral place in this game with lots of options to choose from. Now, Noita taught me that there's a certain way to approach these types of games. You gotta explore all possibilities and see what the game has to offer, because you might be missing a better route. Well, I threw that all out of the window and chose to only use the sword for the majority of my playthrough. This will be the weapon for the rest of my life. Okay, my next life too. Yes, I later learned that this was very dumb, but who am I to judge? Me? My first few runs went very similar to the first. I kept dying, but that was fine. I was just feeling the game out, learning which gods were the best and which were useless. Like my girl Athena. She was actually the first boon I got. I chose Divine Strike, which makes your attacks more powerful and lets you reflect attacks, but it was the wrong option. Divine Dash is actually the most broken one of all. Big Dog Poseidon's actually pretty good if you like knocking people away into walls and traps. The Wine God is pretty good if he only uses passive. Well, the real superpower in this game is my boy Zeus. I can see why he's called the god of gods. This fella's the GOAT. Hey guys, welcome to my latest Hades tier list video. As you can see, we clearly have a winner.
Zeus!
Not gonna lie, I was feeling myself after getting this Zeus buff. He was that powerful, all the rooms on Tartarus were just a breeze. I just knew he was the one for me.
Zeus!
Now, the boss room on the first floor is a little interesting. You've got these three sisters which can randomly appear as a boss on any run. They all have different movesets and quirky dialogue, but the first boss you always meet is Meg. Now, Meg's the default sister, and she's probably the easiest of the bunch. Meg, you think you can beat me? Don't you know? I have the power of God and anime on my side. Ah! Thanks to the power of Zeus, I swiftly kicked her to the curbside and got this vial that I have no idea what to do with. I spoke to people later on and they called it Titan Blood and just said to hold on to it. And I did. Forever. The next floor up from Tartarus was Asphodel, a big lava lake biome which actually looks a lot more like hell. Hades lives under all this! No wonder Zagreus wants to leave. So I got onto a boat and ventured down into the unknown, which was another room. After clearing a few rooms of Skelly and Bombman, I ended up getting to a mini-boss, who weirdly looked like Medusa and Oh god, she's taking me into... There's a rock that comes out the sky! This is rock on rock violence! Help me kill her! Yeah, I died. So I revived, leveled up some of my stats, and did a few more loops which kept resulting in death. I was actually getting a little bit annoyed at the game, but it wasn't really the deaths causing me pain. It was the fact that I just kept getting all the gods. I think the tier list makes it pretty clear. I only want Zeus. Maybe Poseidon because he's also good at Athena for the dash, but that's it. Sure, yes, I did manage to beat the second level and the Hydra boss mainly using Aphrodite, but it just wasn't the same. There's no thrill, no energy, no power. The only reason I won was because of this weapon buff, which let me heal per hit. It's really OP, but it's no Zeus. I needed a way to guarantee that Zeus would appear. So it turns out when you give people nectar for the first time, they give you a little trinket, which gives you an interesting buff. Well, when you give it to Zeus, it actually gives you a god tier item. Oh, I've got it, lads! I've got the best item in the game! With my newfound power, I'd be untouchable. Wait, where's Zeus? I've got the Zeus trinket. Why hasn't he appeared? Yeah, the trinket wasn't that good. It guaranteed me to see him one time, but after that, it's just random chance. But even with that small setback, I still managed to blast my way through the first 2 floors, and I even got to the 3rd level, Elysium. So you're telling me Hades could live here and chooses to live under a goddamn lie? After admiring the new area, I came across death. No, I didn't die. I actually met the death. You son of a bitch! It's you who's been killing me when I die? Just let me stay alive and beat the game? He was actually pretty friendly and just challenged me to a game of who could kill more, which kinda seemed unfair. Somehow, I killed more than death itself, which doesn't make any sense, but he gave me an extra life for being a walking, talking contradiction. Now, with my newfound health, I could take on the mini-boss room, which even had a whole introduction speech. Okay, it's not too bad. He's gonna sprint! No! Stop! Stop jumping! Okay, I've only got 7 HP, but I can survive this. No! You've stolen my life! Okay, I've got 110 left. I can do this. I can still do this. It's fine. I can't do this. I've got nothing left to give. How am I supposed to carry on this level now? That was pretty hard. Luckily, after surviving that ordeal, I met the greatest being in all of existence. This man can refill all of my revive stacks. I love you, Mr. Question Mark Man. That love was short-lived because then I had to fight the boss of the 3rd floor, and it was kind of unfair. I need to fight both of them. Yeah, this one took me a few tries. Thankfully, after buying a few more lives and making use of the mystery man. You got no chance? Wait, he's got God on his side! After kicking yet another boss to the curb, it was time. I'd made it to the final floor. The Temple of Styx. What dangers were awaiting for me there? What untold horrors could stop me from reaching this surface? Elysium had me fighting 2 guys, so this is gonna be the hardest area in the entire game, right? What the fuck? It's a dog. The dog's the final boss! No, not quite. The dog is only blocking the path and will let me pass if I give it some food. Apparently, petting that son of a bitch earlier wasn't good enough to let me go past. This floor was a little different from the last three. Rather than going through rooms, you have a main courtyard area with a shop, and you can choose whatever path you want. There's an entire selection of rewards to take. At the end of one of the paths is a sack for the dog and a healing fountain. This area can actually be pretty easy if you get lucky and find the sack early. You can just leave. If not, well, you fight lots of rat people who poison you. After beating the rat, finding the sack, and getting the dog to move, it was finally time to leave. Ha! Finally! I've done it. I've made it to the surface. Oh, now it's snowing. But that's when I found out the reason why this game is called Hades and not Zagreus. As it turns out, Hades is a rat bastard man who deserves to rot in hell for all of eternity. Not only has this man stopped me from getting to the surface, but he also killed me in about 2 hits. Zeus, get him! Kill the crap out of him now! Kill the crap out of him, Zeus! Yes, you can stand a chance. Ah! 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 Yeah, I died, but that didn't matter. Since I'd made it there, I knew I could get back and eventually pull it off. So I tried again. And again. And again. Yeah, it didn't go well. They say when you're in times of crisis, it's a good idea to clear the mind and go fishing. So that's exactly what I did. Even the game knew it was the right time because it even gave me this legendary fishing boom. Fish. Ah, this is the life. Why can't the game be more like this? Where the fuck's this fish? Now with a clear mind, I tried again. And it was actually going quite well. Yes! Yes, I beat him! Yes! Wait, he's got a second phase? So yeah, I died again.
Bullshit.
It really took its toll. I spent way too long trying to think of ways to win. I even made runs easier by using the construction fellas that had little bonuses and fountains to each level. But it didn't work. That bastard Hades was way too strong. He does too much damage, and I did absolutely none. In the end, a shameful doubt started to creep into my mind. Is Zeus really the strongest god in this game? Could I use somebody else instead and beat Hades? Why not try another god? Surely another god could. No, I couldn't doubt him. There was actually one thing I'd forgotten about. Oh yeah, I actually don't need to use the sword. So I did something that I should have done in the very beginning and actually tried out the other weapons. And after testing the last weapon, I got a real surprise. Wait! After about 40 or 50 runs, I finally found out you could upgrade weapons using Titan Blood. You just needed to do a single run with each weapon to unlock it. I told you it was a dumb decision. As it turns out, the base sword was actually one of the worst weapons in the game. Everything I used was better than the base sword. The boxing gloves, the bow and arrow, spear, the gun. Wait, he's allowed the gun? They're all great and have their own unique play styles, but the greatest weapon of all was surprisingly the shield. Holy shit, this thing's OP. It was that great. Even in my first run with no upgrades, I nearly beat Hades. What madman decides to add such a broken weapon to this game? After a couple of upgrades, Hades didn't even stand a chance at all. Not so strong are you now, Hades? And in my second run of using the shield, I managed to beat Hades. Woo! You didn't stand a chance, you son of a bitch! After beating Hades and what I thought was the game, I ventured out into the unknown. Oh, well, Greece. I didn't actually know it could snow in Greece, but never mind. The game let me bask in the euphoric win over Hades by gazing on into a sunrise. Finally, I'd done it. I'd beaten the game and could move on to Hades too. But then I walked on a little further and came across something interesting.
Who's there?
Hello?
Pray, who might you be wandering all the way out here? You're trespassing on private property, you know.
You must be Persephone. My name is Zagreus, and I think I might be your son.
That's right, Zagreus' mum's on the surface, and he's now finally being reunited. Well, for a couple of seconds. As it turns out, Zagreus can't stay on the surface for too long.
I shall be waiting here. However long it takes.
However long it takes. Can't hold on.
Oh no, we can't stop there! I need to know more! And this started the never-ending loop of me trying to beat the game over and over again. Sometimes winning. Why the hell does she make me come to the surface to die over and over again? Can't she meet me at the door or something? Sometimes losing. Hades, you son of a bitch! Over time, I tried out different styles and the wins came by more often. As it turns out, I was wrong about the shield being the strongest weapon in the game. In fact, the strongest weapon was actually Zeus's shield. Like, this thing is so broken. The God of God strikes again. You'll be happy to know I even won with the sword once. I got a buff where you can attack really quickly, and it got even faster because I used Hermes' attack speed buff. It was really OP. After 10 winning runs, I'd finally achieved it. The ending of Hades 1. To get you up to speed, Hades and Persephone had Zagreus, but he died because Hades is a bastard man. This caused her to leave the underworld and hide somewhere in Greece. Nyx, being some otherworldly existence, managed to revive Zag with the power of friendship. But Hades chose not to tell Persephone, so she never came back. But now, after talking to her 9 times, Persephone is ready to get on a boat and come right back to the underworld. I no longer need to keep dying on the surface. Finally, the family's reunited once again, and they all lived happily ever after. Well, that was until Hades 2. This video's never gonna come out. This is James. Say hi, James. Yeah, don't mind him. He's just finished the story of Hades 1, and he's finally realised the impossible task that this is gonna be.
Few tales are told of Hades.
Homer! What did I tell you last time? Just because it's a different game doesn't mean you can come back and take my spotlight again. Go away! You play as the daughter of Hades' ghost girl. And in a twist of fate, after clawing your way up to the surface in Hades 1, you fight your way back down, back to the House of Hades, to rescue your family who've been taken hostage by Kronos, the god of time. Wait, did I read that right? God of time? You want me to fight the manifestation of time? A dimension of existence? What the hell does that even mean? That's like telling me to fight up and down. Homer, come back! I'm just a ghost girl. How am I supposed to defeat him? For a sequel, Hades 2 is actually pretty different compared to the original. You'll probably be surprised just how different. If I may be so bold, I'd say you could even go back and play the first one, even if you've completed the entirety of Hades 2. The core gameplay is the same. It's just how it plays is a bit different. Everybody's saying this game is twice the size of Hades, but there's no way that could be true, right? Right? Holy shit, there's 2 routes. Where you played more of a bruiser in Hades 1, in this you're actually a mage, which kind of changes up the weapon and the gameplay style. Zag gets a spear, Mel gets a staff. Zag gets a sword, Mel gets daggers. Zag gets a gun, Mel gets a rocket cloak mech thing. She also lashes skulls at people, so it's a little bit different. We can't just dash and slash our way around anymore. Spamming's gone, we're mages now. We need to plan and strategize. We have mana now. It can dry up fast if you're not careful. It's more of a thinking man's game. You'll find out I'm quite the intellectual myself. Fellas, I'm not gonna lie. I love these torches. Yeah, I am. Yeah, okay, I did it again. So being a mage isn't the only change they've made. Your base and level are just completely different now too. The mirror's gone. Kind of. Now you've got these tarot cards, which give you specific buffs and require certain conditions to activate some of them. It's way better than just completely filling up all your stats on a board. The construction men are gone, and now you've got a big witch's spot. Everybody loves a big witch's spot. There's all sorts of resources you can just lash in, and there's more resources to collect in this game. You got a fucking farm over here. And well, they changed up the god boons and made some of them harder to get. Now my obvious move was to test out my boy, the big dog, the Top Gun. That godlike existence was bound to be the best, right? Right?
Look how they massacred my boy.
So in the last game, Zeus's power was a big AoE Lecky Bolt move, which just destroyed rooms in seconds. In Hades 2, it gives them like this dumb curse which takes 4 seconds to activate. It's just not the same. So I kicked Zeus to the curb side, and now Poseidon is my goat. Yay, Poseidon! Yeah, Poseidon's only there because of this one boon. I get a little bit too excited every time. Another one! Now I'd beaten Hades 1, it was time to do it all over again, but for Hades 2. You can probably imagine how my first few runs went. No, they actually went surprisingly well. Except that one time I died because I didn't realise they changed the dash. But other than that, it's smooth sailing. The game starts you off with this staff, and it's good, but I thought the sword was good, and look where that got me. Supergiant wasn't going to get me again. So as soon as I could, I moved over to the daggers. I could no longer be contained by a single weapon. Although, yeah, that all went out the window when I used the torches for the first time. I fucking love these torches. What can I say? I'm lazy, and you can hold down attack. They're pretty great. The first area was a little forest, and everything was pretty easy. I beat up some monsters, found a spider who gave me a special buff, and got a few power-ups to my name. Not too different from normal, but I did come across one of the new gods they added to this game. Oh, it's the god of fortune. Wait, is he in a fucking wheelchair? What the hell's a god in a wheelchair? So apparently Zeus lashed them off a mountain for being ugly, and now his legs are broken. You gotta give it to Zeus, he definitely won't be seeing him again. That incline's a real bitch. The boss of the first floor is actually Mel's teacher, Hecate. She kidnapped her just before Kronos took over the world, so it was a bit of a good kidnapping. She's not too hard as long as you stay behind her, but she's also got this annoying polymorph spell in Phase 3. As we all know, I'm not a fan of polymorphs. Wait, no, I'm a shit! Oh, please, no! Ah! Wait, oh, it's not actually a one-hit kill? I'm kind of used to this being like an instant death kind of thing. I like this change. So, after becoming the master, I moved on down to the next floor. But the next floor wasn't actually the Temple of Styx from the last game. Instead, they had me taking the scenic route through Poseidon's house fighting all these fishes. I was a little confused since, well, I could catch fish, but I'm also fighting fish. It kind of didn't make any sense. They should let me use the fishing rod in this area, just to one-hit everything. This area is pretty good. It's a lot nicer than Asphodel. You've got a nice little siren song in the background, which is pretty enchanting. I can hear your song and I'll be down there in no time. Wait, what the?
Already.
Kronos? Wait, he sent me to Asphodel!
You wish to trick us through this
I hate this place! Yeah, that bastard Kronos sent me to the big lava lake biome. I'm hoping this is just a time pocket because surely we can't have two gods who are dumb enough to live under a sea of lava. After escaping and clearing some rooms, I finally got to the boss of the second floor. And they turned out to be one of the best bosses in the game. You take out bosses one by one, and the music changes based on who you've killed. It's actually a really fun boss fight. So I beat them. First try. Just because I said it was one of the best doesn't mean it was hard. This was my 5th attempt, and I'd already made it to the 3rd floor. Fields of Mourning. I quite like this area because it was the first place which felt completely different from the last game. It's just a big open field. Look at all this room. Getting down here in 5 runs probably helped too. It was going well. Maybe a little too well. While I was going to the next room, I met a lovely little lady called Eris who congratulated me for getting this far. Wait! What the hell is this? Yeah, she put a debuff on me. At every encounter, I was just going to take more damage. Luckily, even with the debuff, I still managed to make it to the boss. Not gonna lie, the Ice Lady might have been garbage in the last game, but goddamn, she's turned that all around for this one. In Hades 1, she just slowed people down, but in this, it's a full-on freeze. You keep clearing rooms like this, you'll go high up on my pyramid. Now, the 3rd boss was just a big dog. At this point, I'd completely forgotten about the debuff and died in a couple of hits. I just thought the boss was really hard. I couldn't even fathom how I was supposed to handle his AoE head poke move. But when I came back without that strike debuff, he was actually a lot easier than I was expecting. Yeah, Doug, you don't understand the chance. Oh god, I hate this move. No, stop pulling me! Ah, you pulling me, you son of a bitch! I hate this body. Ah! Ah! It only took me a couple of tries, and I managed to plop that doggy right on down to the curbside with an unsuspecting crane kick. 7 runs in, and I'd already made it to the final floor. Look familiar? That's right, it's Tartarus. I'd made it all the way down here, and I was only a single boss away from beating the Underworld route. Well, I thought I was. No! No, let me leave! No, damn you, Stripe, just let me leave. I hate you so much. Yeah, she cursed me again. But, you know, I was still in high spirits. Fellas, don't worry. This is the first floor from the last game. What's there to be worried about? All the weakest monsters are here. They don't stand a chance. Oh, shit, it's a numbskull. So for this floor, you can go straight to the final boss, or you can explore more and get stronger just before the big fight. Well, thanks to the nerf, my plan was to take the express route and avoid as many rooms as possible. And even then, I only just about made it to Kronos. Thank God the shop had a big heal. The final boss takes place in Hades' house. Kronos was just sitting there in his big chair insulting me like his son did in the last game. As it turns out, he was just angry because our family overthrew him when he was the leader of the gods, which was kind of hypocritical since he did the same thing to his dad. As you can tell, my Greek lore knowledge is expanding. Unsurprisingly, I died to Kronos in a couple of hits. I mean, I barely made it here, so I knew there was no real chance. After getting back to base, I finally had enough to get a new weapon and unlock the torches. From this point on, I only ever use the torches. I'm a torch man now. There's not a single light bulb in my house anymore. It's a torch household. We're taking in the wonderful healing fumes of carbon monoxide. Okay, I'm starting to feel dizzy here. With my newfound weapon, I fought my way down, demolishing everything in my path. I was a happy guy because all I had to do was hold down one button. It was pretty great. After getting to the 3rd floor and beating the dog again, I met Strife again. Is this like a new thing they've added to the game to make it harder? This is crazy. How am I supposed to win? In hindsight, no. I wouldn't see it every run. It's just there because I was progressing too quickly. Apparently, they don't want you to beat Kronos in 8 runs. So once again, I planned on beelining straight to the boss room to avoid the stacking curse. But I happened to meet an old friend. Hey, remember me, you son of a bitch? Yeah, I'm a Hades, and clearly I hadn't forgotten my Hades 1 experience. You son of a bitch, just because I'm a girl now doesn't mean you can forget the pain and anguish you've caused. Oh, he gives me a buff. Oh, that's nice of him. Yeah, Hades gives you some pretty nice buffs down here in Tartarus. I also met Cerberus here, but... Wait, no, let me pet you. No, let me pet you. Let me pet... Yeah, the dog never lets me pet him. And in under 10 runs, I made it back to Kronos and beat him. I actually beat time. Well, I only beat phase 1, but then I beat him again. And that bastard doesn't have a phase 3, so I knew I won this time. What a thrill. Had I actually gotten better at these games? Did all my hard work in Hades 1 pay off? Had I improved? No, I just abused this Doom trinket in the last run. 1 second I was staring at the challenge board, and the next, Mr. Doom appeared in my base with the most broken trinket imaginable. If you ever die in a room, you become invincible and have 10 seconds to clear it to survive. So if you need a heal, Doom. Low boss health, Doom. Wait, I failed the countdown? Oh, don't worry, you can still revive, it's fine. Next room, oh, don't worry, you've still got the Doom again. You get a Doom, you get a Doom. Dooms for everybody. Now I'd beaten Kronos, I was free to explore the House of Hades and reminisce about the last game. Ah, what wonderful memories I have of this place. It feels like it was just yesterday when we all reunited as a family. It actually was yesterday when I did that. Now that I've beaten Kronos, I went to Zag's room, slept in his bed, and woke up as a ghost girl. Now you know why she's called Ghost Girl. I became a ghost so I could go inside the Black Mirror and meet a certain somebody on the other end.
Is my hair getting lighter and my features getting fairer, or did I...
Oh, so that's how they want me to loop in this game? Yeah, in this game they want you to keep fighting Kronos so you can continue your conversation with the past version of Zagreus. I imagine a lot of people love this moment, but me. Joke's on you, some of you waited 5 years for this heartfelt reunion. I was him yesterday! So, even after beating the Time Lord, he just came right back to life because he's, well, time. Now that I'd beaten the downward route, it was only right for me to venture upwards to the surface. So I ventured up, and I found out that, I can't stay on the surface. I mean, if you're paying attention to the first game, it makes sense. It's kind of the whole plot. Thankfully, unlike Zagreus, I'm a fucking witch and can do spells and shit. So I planted a few plants, lashed some stuff in a handy-dandy witch's pot, and made the concoction which turned me into a daywalker. Now I can explore the surface to my heart's content. And well, it's actually my favourite route. You start off in a little town with a giant courtyard of possibilities. This is a nice little starter area where you can set up for your run. All you really need to do is break these pylons and the ghosts inside just kill everybody anyway. After breaking 6 pylons, I was ready to take on the first floor's boss. This guy was just a big Cyclops shepherd. Since I'd already beaten Kronos, this boss was pretty easy. I later learned he wasn't too bad of a guy, he's just a bit of an insomniac. Counting all those sheep every day made him immune to the most tried and tested method. After beating Sheep Guy, the next area had me fighting on giant ghost ships. I really liked this area, but it was really the boss fight which interested me most. Strife! Strife!
Special to Moros if you
Finally! It's time to get revenge! I've waited for this all my life! Yes, you don't stand a chance. You know how much stronger I've gotten after beating Kronos? Wait. How much of a damage buff? You don't know the levels of sadness I reach when I died to Strife for the first time. How could I let that happen? I've beaten her now, but let me tell you, I still haven't recovered. After quite a few attempts, I eventually realised that all I need to do is just stay behind and it makes the boss fight way easier. It's basically the same for most bosses in this game. Although this did quickly become my favourite boss fight in the game. More so because I got to decimate Strife every time. Now, I'd made it to Olympus. The land of the gods, a hill somewhere in Greece. You can go there today and meet them yourself. I think somebody's reality was actually shattered the day they went up there and saw there was no gods. Just a little message carved into the peak. James was here. I did think there were a few gods missing from the game, but you meet them here. This is where you can meet the wine god and Athena. They're rarer to get, but the booms are stronger. You can even get Divine Dash. The boss on this floor was Prometheus. What a guy. I don't even want to fight him. This is the fella who gave us fire, and then Zeus got a bird to eat his stomach for the rest of his life. Well, all of eternity. How are you going to cook without fire? So I gave in and fought him, and he was hard, almost as if he could foresee what I was going to do, and yeah, I'm utterly shit at the memory game. Even to this day, I'm still not too good at it. The last one he does just gets me. Thank God for the Doom trinkets. I don't think I've ever beat this boss without it. I just stand there in the middle of the last one because I'm never going to beat it. Needless to say, this boss took a lot of attempts. At least all these deaths led to something. I discovered something which completely changed my view on Hades 2. Oh, I just spoke too soon. He's back. Put him on top. No, put him even higher. I don't even want to see anybody else on that list. Not gonna lie, fellas, I was a little too fast to judge Zeus. The whole curse attack thing was just a ruse to hide his true power. As it turns out, he's just amazing with every other god in this game, and well... Yes! Yes! It's so good! With my love for Zeus rekindled, I managed to beat Prometheus and make it to the peak of the mountain. I was ready to take on the final boss. But I didn't make it to the final boss. Why is this route so much harder than beating Kronos? Yeah, the final floor was a bit of an odd one, and most of the time I didn't even make it to the final boss. You have to do too many bosses in this area, which seem hard at first, but once you know what they do, it's not too bad. The final boss, though. Oh, God. He destroys his health bar! Yeah, Typhon's crazy. Even the lead up to the boss fight's intimidating. The mad lad destroys his health bar in the beginning of the fight and took away my one and only strategy for winning. I couldn't attack his back because he took up the whole screen. This guy took quite a few attempts, maybe even as many as Hades did. Still to this day, I have no idea how I'm supposed to dodge some of this. I was fighting him with 4 lives and it was still a complete struggle. But unlike Hades, I never lost my mind because when Typhon goes down to half HP, I had someone there with me. Oh my God, it's Zeus! Zeus, please! Zeus, it's me! Look at me! Please! Yes, the one and only Zeus comes in and pelts him with some lecky bolts. Then he leaves you to finish him off. And I don't know if that was a good idea. Zeus! Zeus, you didn't kill him! Zeus, he's alive! Please, come back, Zeus, no! Yeah, so phase 2 started and it got even harder. I don't even know what's going on at this point. Eventually I did manage to kill him, but I'm not even sure how. Ah! Wait, he's dead? Oh my God, he's dead! After finally beating him, I got to go into the Palace of Olympus and meet the one and only Zeus. So they told me I didn't actually kill him. Apparently he only falls to the bottom of the mountain and just climbs up again, so technically I can't kill him either. Luckily, thanks to some conversations at my big witch's pot, it turns out I can kill him, but I need to use their drops to perform a spell, which, well, didn't sound too bad. Oh shit, I've got to fight him 4 more times. Not gonna lie, fellas, there was no existential crisis this time around. Well, other than I'd been playing Hades 24/7 for a month. Yeah, James wasn't doing well. As you can tell, I decided to go with the easier route and beat Kronos some more times. This didn't go too bad, and I actually made some discoveries along the way. Wait, infusion? You guys see what I'm seeing? They made them even better. Make a new list. Put them at the top. No higher than that. Off the screen. Off the screen. No, not that. I discovered that we needed another item, which was Hades' spear for Typhon's spell. Luckily, it didn't really change anything because all I had to do was beat Kronos to eventually get the spear, so it was just more of a reason to do this route first. After getting the spear, I reluctantly did have to go up and beat Typhon a few more times. I'd like to say it got easier, but it never really got easy. Eventually, I got everything I needed for Typhon's spell, but there was a bit of a realization of what I actually needed to do now. Oh god, I've got to fight him again. So I make it to the top of the mountain and just about, and I mean just about, beat him. Ah, yes! Yes, he's finally dead! Yes! Ah! Okay, now that I'd finally gotten the hard boss out the way, I was on a bit of a victory lap. All I needed to do was beat Kronos, which at this point is pretty simple. I went down there, and just about when I thought I'd kicked him to the curbside. Wait! He's got a phase 3! Yeah, I'm gonna dodge all this stuff, this is impossible! Ah! It's got so much move, what the hell am I supposed to dodge any of this? Ah, no! Ah! He killed me again! What the fuck? No! Ah! Wait, I can't die? Ha, you little Time Lord bitch, you don't stand a chance, I'm invincible! Yeah, I think I might have fully lost my mind at this point. After beating Kronos, I got into the mirror and gave Zagreus the spear so he could kill Kronos in the past and stop the future from ever happening. But then they changed the ending and Mel tells him to speak with Kronos to see if he could stop being evil. I mean, in both versions, Zagreus never kills him, so that part pretty much stays the same. It's just the new version where it was all Mel's plan. People like this change, but if we're being honest, Mel was raised to kill Kronos. The original ending made a bit more sense. Thanks to Zagreus being an all-round good guy, Kronos in the past changes his ways and becomes a part of the family, and even raises Mel. But it was all a dream, and when we go back to reality, it turns out we've just done some witchery gaslighting to the whole family, and now they all believe that story was real. I've just gaslit this entire family into loving a man who nearly destroyed the world. Now that Kronos had joined the family and changed his ways, we were all reunited as one big family and lived happily ever after. Well, actually, I did some more reading on Greek mythology. Wait, Kronos did what to his dad? I'm sorry, you think I'm done because I've finished the story? Let me be real with you. It never ends. I'm still playing this goddamn game right now. What the hell is all of this? I didn't even finish everything in the first game, and the second game has even more. I haven't even shown you everything. Go play Hades 1 on 63 heat, give out some flasks, fight the shopkeeper, and try and get the epilogue ending. Play Hades 2 and well, I actually don't even know how much of this game is left. I don't think I'll ever find it all. This game is too fucking big. And well, time's a bitch.